So last year, Google had a slam dunk over the Samsung when it came to their Fold. This year, though, Samsung is up their game with the Galaxy Fold 7. Let's see how it does against Google's latest, the 10 Pro Fold.
All right. Let's start with the comfort and design and the build of these things, because there's three most important things we'll start with and then go to the rest.
Yeah, number one is the IP rating. Yeah. So that's how resistant are these devices to dust and water. Now, Samsung is IP48. Now they've upped that water resistance rating from previous years. And the Google is now IP68.
Yeah, that's solid.
May sound like mumbo jumbo to some of you, just a bunch of numbers, right? 48, 68, what does it really mean? So the 8 is the water resistance, great on both, very high. But dust, that's where it's at, because going from a 4 to a 6 is no easy feat, huh?
Yeah.
This is foldables we're talking about. There are a lot of moving parts where dust and all that kind of particles can get through. So impressive. What about number two?
Number two is the sharpness. I think in daily use, when you handle these phones, the Samsung, for example, if you use it open, and Samsung is very symmetrical, so you're going to get the same experience in both hands.
Yeah.
Getting kind of sharpish edges. They're not very sharp, but my wife told me this while comparing the two phones. She's like, I find that this really hurts. And I'm like, okay. So some people, it really, it matters how these things are designed. Not so much for me, I must say.
Okay.
Whereas the Google is a much more nice and rounded experience, especially when it's open.
It's curvy.
It is curvy. Look at the curves. It's a big corner radius. You're going to feel quite comfortable with this in your hand.
Okay.
Also closed. You're going to feel quite comfortable with this in your hand if you're a right-hander. If you're a left-hander, on the other hand, you're getting the best of the pokey world here. Whereas on the Samsung, whether it's open or closed, you're going to feel that sharpness if that's an issue for you.
Okay. Number three is what's on the inside and what's powering these phones, because Samsung has gone ahead with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite version of the chipset, whereas Google is sticking to their guns and using their in-house chip, which is the Tensor G5.
Yeah, both are manufactured on a 3-nanometer process. The Google one is manufactured by TSMC this time.
Yeah.
So we are hoping for better things. But if history is anything to go by, that always tends to be a sticking point on Google phones, especially the heat it generates and the sort of instability.
Okay.
We'll come back to that at the end of the review in the conclusion, but for now, those are two big differences.
Let's do that. Let's take a look at first how these things are built and what are the materials used, because both are aluminium, even though Samsung markets a bit of titanium.
Oh yeah, they say it's on the main screen, so it's probably just this edge around here. Which is fine. I don't think that makes a difference one way or the other. What does make a difference is the weight in my hands. And I noticed my weighing scale isn't very exacta. So what I saw was this was 228 and this was 260, irrespective of the numbers, right? So in my hand, I'm definitely feeling the Pixel more than the Samsung.
And the outer screens are also, in terms of materials, different? But maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. What are they?
The Pixel has Victus 2 on the outer screen, whereas Samsung has Ceramic 2. Samsung's back is Victus 2. And I actually Googled this. I can't find which is better. So if you guys know which of these is better, please leave a comment down below. But it's fine. I think both are Gorilla Glass, high quality stuff. So you're getting quite decent glass and drop protection.
Okay. So the way these phones are designed is also different. They fold, but we felt that the Samsung is just much cleaner.
So much cleaner.
Right?
Look at the weird corner radius situation in the Pixel. Like, this is nice and symmetrical, right? You're getting nice rounded edges here. But once you close it, the Pixel, you're getting like one corner radius up here and then another corner radius up here, which is kind of like we had to slap on a hinge, so let's do this kind of situation. Whereas the Samsung just looks so much cleaner and so much more symmetrical. And even when you close it, it looks like a nice industrial slab. I mean, if that's your thing, of course. The Pixel just looks a bit off for me.
Yeah, and also on the inside of the Pixel, I felt like the bezels, right? These edges are very thick. So it doesn't feel like a 2025 design, right? Where everyone's going for those minimal edges and all that.
Yeah.
But it has a look, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I know this looks more like a normal phone, especially when you close it. But I don't necessarily need it. This thing has that passport look, right? That wider display.
When it's open, fine. It's just when it's closed that I feel like it looks kind of ugly. Oh, you meant
Okay.
All right.
And I will give it one thing, whether this is design or comfort. I feel like it was much harder to open the Fold 7 compared to the
Nah, both are hard to open.
Both are hard. Yes, it's relative. It's relative. Yeah.
Okay, because this is thicker.
Okay, maybe.
So, I think you have more stuff to hold on to.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, then okay, so now button placement. Yeah, there's not much to talk about here. Like they switch the power and the volume rockers. So the power button is down here, the power button is up here.
This has always been the case.
It's always been the case. They want to distinguish themselves, make it harder for you to switch to a competitor.
I remember you were always on Samsung phones and I was on Pixel. And every time we used to try out the other phone, we would always be annoyed by the button placement. So it's a matter of what you're used to, I guess.
One thing I must say that the Google does better is the wobble. I'm not sure you can see it, but you can see it on the shot here. This is when it's open, but when it's closed, oh my God, the Samsung has some serious wobble, which I'm sure you can even see in this top down. Look at that. And this one is stable. And it might seem like a minor thing.
It's big though.
But when I type, a message or something, I'm not annoyed that it's doing this.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big deal. And you don't really get a case that totally fills out that wobble on the Samsung.
At least we haven't, but if you know of a case.
Maybe if you find a thick, chunky case, it'll do that.
Okay. And I think you get a fingerprint scanner on both the side buttons, right?
Side buttons.
The power button is.
For me, it's a favorite authentication mechanism.
Right.
I wish even all the flagship, the Ultras and all that had that. It's just so much easier.
Than the in-screen one.
In-screen one. It's just a waste of time, that thing. Maybe the Samsung is a bit snappier, but it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, so
nothing to.
Pixel is fine.
Yeah.
Worked well for me. The speaker situation. Overall, I like the speaker on the Pixel. I think it has a bit more bass. The Samsung sounds a bit tinier. First, go listen to this sample and come back.
I ain't looking at the clock, still falling like rock. Yeah, I'm headed to the bus, then I'm falling like I ain't looking at the clock, still falling like rock. When I get high.
Hey, you're back. But one thing I did find annoying is, especially when I have the Pixel open, you have this bottom firing speaker here. You can see the perforations. And when you open it, what I'm often doing is sometimes I'm resting my pinky here and it considerably blocks the sound. I was thinking I'm having some hearing issue, but when I took my finger off, the volume is back.
You can hear again.
Yeah, there's a considerable difference in volume. So
you didn't have that on the Samsung?
On the Samsung, I did not, even though...
because the speaker's on the other side.
Yeah, that's probably the reason.
That's probably the reason.
I prefer the Pixel speaker a little bit.
Yeah, again, that'll depend on how you consume content. So if you're using headphones or earbuds, you may not notice this, but if you're someone who uses the speaker a lot, a couple of specs to get out of the way. So the Pixel standard is 16 gigabytes of RAM. There is no option there, whereas Samsung will also come with 16 gigabytes, but that's if you go for the 1 terabyte storage option. Else, you're getting 12 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Which model do we have here?
We have the 256 gig on the Pixel, and that's the base model. That's also nice.
Okay.
And that's 16 gig.
And did you notice anything when you're multitasking a little bit? And running
I'll come to that in the end. The performance I'm going to talk a little bit about.
All
but that I think it's a bit of the processor, a bit of the RAM, but we'll come to that.
Okay.
But one thing you cannot ignore on these things is the screens.
Yeah. What are we thinking about the screens? I know Samsung makes nice panels, but...
So the Samsung actually is a lower brightness screen than the Google.
Oh.
It's 2600 nits peak brightness.
Yeah.
Google is 3000 peak brightness on both the screens, inner and outer. I didn't really feel the difference, but then it's not sunny or summery right now exactly. So maybe when you're out in really peak daylight, it might make a slight difference. Don't expect too much.
Yeah.
The inner crease, I actually wrote down the notes as the crease seems similar, but now when I'm looking at it,
in better lighting,
in better lighting and having used the Pixel a bit more, the Pixel crease looks worse, like by a lot.
Yeah.
Like, look, this is the Samsung crease, and this is the Pixel crease.
I don't get the deal with creases. It's never really bothered me.
Yeah, no. I think it's something people do when they first take the phone out of the box and it's not on, and then they see a crease and they get freaked out. But if you have content on it, you're going to be fine.
Aspect ratio was a big selling point and an improvement on the Samsung's front outer screen.
Yeah.
Because it's now 21:9.
Yeah. So that's a good aspect ratio to use compared to what they had before.
Yeah.
But this is a better aspect ratio.
Yeah? Why?
Just, I don't know, it feels more like a normal phone. It feels almost like a compact phone because not so tall and skinny like this one.
Yeah.
Although they're probably the same height. And other than that, you can do everything you need to. So for content, I think this is better. For, I don't know, for maybe scrolling kind of apps, this is fine. But like a browser, I still prefer the Pixel.
I see it this way. I think if you don't want the bulk in your hand when you're using one-handed use, I think the Samsung is great for that.
Yeah.
And the aspect ratio is good now. It's like normal phone aspect ratio. But the Pixel is nicer, obviously. If you just want to use the front screen and you rarely want to open it up for content, then it's perfect.
That's what happened with me, actually. When I was using this, you asked me the question as well, why aren't you using the inner screen so much? I'm like, because it's fine. This thing is just fine.
Yeah.
This aspect. This kind of forces me a little bit.
Correct.
To, okay, I'm not getting everything I need. I need to open it up. So
reason I'm getting my phone out is because, so you see here that the Pixel 10 Pro, I mean, the aspect ratio is very similar, right? It looks exactly the same.
It's almost exactly the same with an uglier little edge here.
Exactly.
I still find ugly, but
yeah.
And then you have the outer display, which quality-wise, both are fine, but the Pixel can only go down to 60 hertz.
Oh.
Whereas this is a full LTPO of 1 hertz. So that's weird. Pixel, the inner screen is 1 to 120, but outer screen is 60 to 120. And this will affect battery life. I mean, especially if you use always on screens or just low refresh rate tasks. Like if you're reading something, this will ramp down to 1. This will still be at 60, sucking out more battery.
Yep. Yeah.
So overall, Pixel is great for using closed content, typing, and this use case. And one of the benefits of having a wider screen, you can literally use it for navigation. Not so easy to do on a Z Fold 7. But you end up using the inner screen less, like you said, and you don't really hit up against the limitation like you do on the Samsung.
I don't like my devices to be too bulky and big. So for me, I would pick the Galaxy Fold 7 just because it's more comfortable for one-handed use.
I understand, yeah.
But if you hate unfolding your device, but you want to still have that ability, then I think the Pixel is great.
Yeah, and if you're a one-phone person, like most people are, like this is a great phone closed and open.
Seriously.
This is mainly much better open, although it's not bad closed anymore.
Correct. Not anymore, indeed. Okay, let's talk about some software and foldable.
You have strong thoughts on Pixel versus One UI interfaces, so I'll give this to you.
So, I've always been this way. I don't know. Maybe it's a problem that I have. But I prefer cleaner experiences, and I just feel Google's UI is cleaner.
Yeah.
And how it's meant to be is maybe the wrong word, but what annoys me about Samsung is that there are duplicate apps.
Yeah, a lot of double apps. Yeah.
2 app stores, 2 cameras, 2 galleries, 2 photos, whatever. All of these kinds of duplication. I know why they do it. I understand it. I just don't like it as a user. You're okay.
I personally don't care. I'm fine because it's just something you can ignore in my case.
I've learned to do that, yes.
Yeah. Because I like a lot of things about Samsung. They have a lot of other features.
Yep.
But let's talk about foldability and the foldable features specifically here. You can do a split screen view on the Pixel. So you can have 2 apps side by side.
Yeah.
And I've used the Fold since the Fold 4. So I was kind of expecting the same. You cannot.
What?
When you take an app, you drag it on the Samsung, you can either tile it horizontally or vertically. So you can split screen it horizontally as well.
Okay.
That you can't do on the Pixel. I can have up to 3 apps split screen on Samsung. You can't do that on the Pixel.
So 2 is max?
2 is max.
Okay.
I can do 3 apps and a floating window on. So you see where I'm going with this. Samsung is giving you all the options if you like to multitask, and you'll be surprised as to how often you want to use 3 apps because you want to just keep track of something in the side.
Yeah.
You're messaging somebody on the side, and maybe there's a music app or whatever that's floating around. So it really depends on what kind of user you are. I think they're going for the more Apple style. We tell you what's enough.
Simple. These are the options. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not smart enough to do 3 windows at a time. You only do 2.
Yeah.
But of course, it's a choice.
I feel like this is also Samsung flexing a little bit the fact that they've been in this business for 7 years and able to.
They did this on the 4, I think. So it's a fact. They've just been doing it longer.
Yeah.
And I think then maybe it's a Samsung custom thing. That's why probably they have it and Pixel doesn't have it. If it was Android, I think Pixel should have had it.
Something for Android to copy from Samsung in this case. Both the devices get you 7 years of software update. So that's becoming kind of the norm, which is nice to see.
Yeah, but these are top players in the game. So
that's true. Yeah. So both these features have these new, Gemini Android features like
Gemini Live, Circle to Search. They have all that jazz.
But you found something interesting.
The Object Eraser on Samsung is the most underrated feature on Samsung. And it is better than Google's. Like, I cannot get over it. Google can do simple things like you're holding something, you can erase that. But the Samsung can erase my glasses if I wear them. Whereas the Google just replaces it with other glasses and other eyes.
I wonder if they're using their own model for this.
Yeah, they have to be, because otherwise Google.
Then why is Google not able to do it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So Samsung's done really well on that.
Okay, but there are also a ton of other AI features that Google has marketed right on the 10 Pro and the Fold also. Things like voice translating calls. For example, you're able to create music in the recorder. What about Magic Cue?
Which we don't have in the Netherlands.
There we go. Yeah.
But there's AI in the camera.
That makes up for everything.
Let's talk about camera. So all features like best take, add me, guided frame, C2PA is not really a feature, it's just a copyright thing.
Yep.
And there's also low light boost on Instagram. So they're kind of integrating with Instagram with the native app. So there's a bunch of stuff that we do get everywhere in the world, I'm guessing. Specs wise, just quickly getting it out of the way, Google has a rear camera of 48 megapixels, main and 10.5 and 12.5 megapixels. The Samsung comes with the 200 megapixel monster and 10 and 12 megapixels.
And pixels aren't everything.
Pixels aren't everything, but Google Pixel would disagree. The inner and outer selfie cameras are both 10 megapixels. Curiously, I found that the Samsung is actually wider, the selfie camera, even though on paper, the Pixel says 87 degrees and Samsung says 85. So that's weird. So in real life, the Samsung was actually wider. And of course, the Samsung inner camera is even wider, 100 degrees field of view, whereas it's exactly the same on the Pixel. So if you want wide selfies, then Sammy is the one to do.
Yeah.
And the camera on the inside for the Pixel is at a very weird location up here in the corner.
It's not a natural place to look
No,
at.
so often you're looking over here and it looks like you're looking completely away from the person if you're on a call or something. Whereas Samsung has nicely centered it here, which is a bit better than this, is better than this in my opinion, but yeah.
I've got to agree.
So check out some selfies and selfie video samples. All right, this is the last selfie video and then we're gonna stop. I'm noticing that the Pixel is managing to brighten my face, but it looks really artificial. The backlight, and you're getting these rainbow flares as well, whereas the Samsung is avoiding the flares, just brightening everything up. The shadows are crushed when I'm with my light to the back, but I think the Samsung is looking much more natural with backlight than the Pixel. It's definitely trying to fix my face. Don't fix my face. Now let's go to video.
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. So Samsung can shoot in 8K if you want. I don't know who's doing that, but yeah. And you can also shoot 4K 120 FPS.
That is, I think for us as content creators, makes a difference.
Changer. Yeah.
We just have to shoot for 1/4 of the amount of time and we have B-roll ready. Google has this video booster thing and it uses AI to enhance, but it actually uploads it to the cloud and then brings it back.
And it can take some time though as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessarily very easy to use, let's say.
Yeah.
And overall for photos and videos, daytime performance, I think most cameras is very similar right now with
good lighting. It's
a choice of what kind of colors do I prefer. Like the Pixel is a bit more realistic in some cases. But let's see what this guy has to say. All right, so I'm on my photo walk comparing these two. What I'm noticing is, at least on the screens, and I've set Samsung screens to standard, the blues are appearing darker and in general shadows appear much more crushed on the Samsung, whether that be video or photo. And the blues do appear more natural. Now look at the sky behind you. Yeah, I think it's like a few shades lighter than it is in the Samsung video. And of course, it's the front camera selfie. So we're kind of testing the front camera as well while testing the rest. And now selfie video, we're doing it on the Pixel this time. 200 megapixel is a game changer because look at this picture of the flowers. Of course, you see the actual picture on screen, but I can zoom in so much and still get plenty of detail. Whereas if you look at the 12 megapixel, you're kind of stuck at this zoom level. Now, in terms of the camera interface, I prefer the Samsung camera interface because it doesn't have that weird video and photo thing at the bottom.
Oh, you don't like that, huh?
I don't like it. Do you like it?
I got used to it.
You got used to it. Okay. Or maybe I'm just not used to it.
Yeah. And in lower light situations, Google tends to default quicker to night mode and therefore ends up with better photos in low light. However, the selfie camera is awful in lower light, as is evidenced by the photo here. Video in low light is comparable, even though on the screen viewfinder, the Samsung actually seems brighter while shooting the video. However, in very close to pitch dark, the Samsung comes out on top for selfies.
I mean, I basically look like two white dots on this Google Pixel rear camera selfie. And while there's some information there in the Samsung, it's not really that much better.
Okay. So overall, we think that the cameras are very closely matched. But if given a choice, what would you pick, Ron?
I'd give it to the Pixel for photos and the Samsung for video. But you saw there were many cases where one won over the other. It's not so straightforward.
No. Is the juice situation straightforward, though? The battery?
On paper, yes, because Samsung is coming in with 4,400 milliamp hours, whereas the Google has 5,000 plus. So that's quite a significant jump
so there's something in that chunkiness. Then.
Something in the chunkiness.
Yeah.
None of them is silicon carbon, so I think there's like a limitation there.
Yeah.
But you're getting faster charging as well. 30 watts versus 25 watts.
This is wired.
Wired.
Yeah.
And you're getting 15 watt wireless on both. Google did not bring its high quality 25 watts.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it's only on the Pixel 10 Pro. So I'm guessing it's...
No, not 10 Pro, 10 Pro XL.
Oh, yeah. Only on the Pixel 10 Pro XL. I guess it's something heat related, I guess, because there's more space or whatever.
Yeah.
And the claim of Google is you get 50% charge in about 30 minutes. So what we did was we just charged both for 15 minutes. Just saw quickly what happens. The Pixel gained 11% and the Samsung gained 12% in 15 minutes. Okay. It wasn't really a fast charger, but then it was the same charger, so we could compare. And that means this is charging faster because it's a bigger cell and it's charging almost the same amount. There was also a drain test I did.
Okay.
I downloaded an app called Drain Test. So it basically flashes your screen and it flashes the flashlight and vibrates everything.
Yeah.
So the Pixel took longer to drain, which means probably under many conditions, it will be slower to drain, you'll have better battery life, but it heated up a little bit more, which worries me a lot.
If you guys don't know, in the past, Tensor has been known to heat up the devices a lot. And so now that the Tensor G5 chip is made by TSMC, the hope is that it would have less of the heat issues.
Yeah.
But in this battery test, you did see it.
It was like
warmer to the touch.
Yeah, it's 6 minutes it took. So obviously it took longer. So it had more time to heat up. But like Samsung went from 25 degrees Celsius to like 35, whereas the Pixel went from 22 to 36. So it's a bit worrying.
Okay.
It's a bit worrying.
Okay.
But
time will tell.
Time will tell. Yeah.
And of course, testing is testing and real life use is going to be different. We think we averaged about 6 to 7 hours of screen on time on the Pixel. So that's great, but only long-term testing will tell us if that heat management is going to be a problem or not.
Yeah. For now, the winner is Pixel for the battery life, but don't sue us.
All right. So let's wrap this up. All right. So Ron, make a choice. But before he does make a choice, I know he doesn't like this part. Making a choice is hard, but you guys made a choice to support us on this channel. Big thanks to all of our tested tier members over here.
And our lovely Fuckman tier members as the highest tier, Paula, Rachel, and Rad's Panda.
Which one should you be getting? If you have the money, you want a foldable, you want it from Samsung and Google, these are your options.
Yeah, so the Pixel 10 Pro Fold at launch is $1,899, $1,899 for the 256 gig model.
Okay.
The Z Fold 7 MSRP is $2,000, so there's not too much in it price-wise, but we are seeing crazy deals already because this is not a new model, the Z Fold 7. I saw it for 1,400 euros in the
Not a new model as in it's still the flagship, but it's been out for a little longer than the Pixel. Yeah. Okay.
So I saw it for 1,400 euros in the Netherlands.
Shit.
That is very cheap. And Samsung does that. It always throws deals, at least here in Europe. So irrespective of price, I found few things that worried me about the Pixel. We talked about the heat.
Yeah.
We were not allowed to run benchmark tests. You can't download benchmark apps.
Oh, because it's not out yet.
Yeah. It was buggier as well, surprisingly.
Okay.
So like, for example, the outer screen, sometimes the clock kind of only half displayed. Half the letters were off the screen.
Oh.
At one point, a video I shot for the video test was corrupted. Like, a whole video talking about,
That's not something we see very often.
I've never seen that on the Samsung ever. No. And I've not used Pixel for a while, so I don't know if it's a normal Pixel thing.
No, not seen it, no.
I don't know if it's a Tensor thing or a Snapdragon thing. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
So I'm worried about a few things, but it is a fine device. If you're not a hardcore gamer or, you're power user kind of thing, it's fine. It worked fine for me most of the time. The things I'm talking are like the 1%.
Okay.
And it has IP68, which arguably in long-term use is going to be better than the Samsung.
Yeah.
A more usable cover screen, better photos, and arguably funner software, right? With the Material 3 Expressive and all that AI stuff if it's available in your geo.
Yeah. So, make a choice. This is the less fun part for him.
Yes. I'm leaning towards the Z Fold 7.
Okay. And why?
Just better industrial design.
Yeah.
I like it. And it's a bit of a personal preference, how it feels in the hand and stuff like that. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Google Pixel 10 Pro, at least so far.
Yeah. Might have to give it a spin. See if I like the Pixel experience in a foldable better.
For the full Pixel 10 Pro review, click here.
And for our Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 video, click up here.
Do we?
Do we?